Good day, friends of the Enterprise Development Property Fund. This is Nigel, the CEO of the organization. Today I'd like to wrap up the 15 proven ways to invest in property using other people's money. The last few weeks we've been talking with my friend Anton Breitenbach, the CEO of Empire Wealth. And basically today all we want to do is just take all of the information and put it into one quick video that will wrap everything up for you. So basically, when we talk property, one of the biggest issues is a lack of access to money. But we always say that that should never stop you or prevent you from securing that good property investment that you found. The first thing you need to do is to decide on a structure. That means looking at trusts and companies and partnerships and so on, and creating a structure for your organization, business. Then you find your first deal, you do your due diligence or feasibility, and then you go and find the money. So this summary is basically about the money side of it, and you can talk to us about the other parts as we educate people through our program. So the information here is based on a book written by Anton, and you can find the book at 15provenwaysguide.com. So let's start with the first one, bank home loan finance. You can use the bank's money when you buy and finance a property. This is normally called a home loan or a commercial property finance loan. You become the owner and principal debtor. The bank registers a bond over the property and keeps the title deed until it's fully paid. When you apply, the bank qualifies you on two calculations: your affordability. Normally they take 30% of your gross income towards the bond repayment, and then they will calculate the bond amount that you are qualified for using this calculation. The other thing they look at is your disposable income. After they deduct all your expenses from your income, whether you can still pay the bond that is required. The second one is bank surety, using the bank's money, but someone else gives them an undertaking to pay them back. You still become the owner and principal debtor, but the surety does not become the owner and principal debtor. A surety is when a person takes responsibility for another to perform any undertaking. The bank will then do the affordability calculation on the surety, and this will be the amount of the home loan finance that you can secure. Number 3 is personal credit. There are many forms of personal credit, including credit cards, personal loans, overdrafts, and other things. The reason for the high interest rate is because normally it's unsecured. The personal credit is a good form of debt to use for property investments as long as your return is higher than the interest per repayment that you make on the debt. Alright, the next one is equity gearing. This is a method that has the most property multi-millionaires in the world. Using this method in an existing property as security to borrow more money, you can reinvest in more properties to grow your portfolio. Generally, you want about an 80 to 20 debt to equity ratio. What that means is that 80% is debt and 20% is equity. And gearing is a concept of using money, something small, to achieve something big. So hence the 20 to 80 debt equity ratio, for example. If you only have 20 Rand, you can leverage it or gear that money in order to then create a 100 Rand opportunity. The next opportunity or next way to use other people's money is asset finance, using your movable or current assets to secure or borrow money, and then using that money to buy property. Here you're not using immovable properties, for example a building, rather you're using an investment or your balance sheet. This can take the form of many things. Asset finance companies normally would look at this kind of funding. Sometimes even the banks will look at this kind of funding. Many of them will take paper investments as security, listed equities and bonds, collective investments, etc., and other things that you can use of vehicles, plant and equipment hire, trading stock, and personal investments like jewelry and so on. All right, partnerships is the next one. This is probably one of the easiest ways and one of the fastest ways to grow your portfolio. Partners don't look at your affordability or your financial record, they're really just interested in the deal. They are normally also operationally involved in the project, which gives them a higher sense of security. There are three main forms of partnerships. You provide the finance or surety, and the other partners the cash. You provide cash, and the other partners the finance or surety. You provide only sweat equity, and the other partners the cash and finance or surety. You can then use your profits from the partnership to grow the portfolio, or as a supplement to the existing strategies if you're already overexposed. You only have so much home loan and credit affordability or assets or leverage that you can use. So a partnership is really a fantastic way to supplement the capital base that you require. Okay, so the next one is seller finance. Using the seller as the bank, basically. In other words, paying the seller off over time. When using seller finance, sellers typically do not look at your affordability either or your credit record. They will get out of the deal in the end, which is more important to. They look at what they can get out of the deal at the end, which is more important to them. There are two types of seller finance. You take over title immediately, so you take complete control and you own the asset. The seller or the conveyancing attorney will retain the title until the last payment is made, almost like the bank does. You enter into an installment, or you can enter into an installment sale and take over title at the last payment. Alright, again, next one, owner finance. Now this is differentiating from the seller finance. In that normally here you use it for back-to-back or flip deals or wholesale deals. This can take many forms and timelines. The owner keeps paying, for example, the property while you take control. You get it ready for sale. You do maybe a spit and a polish. You do a bit of paint work, a bit of renovations, and then once the property is ready, you resell it, even while the owner still controls the property. Next one up is venture capital. Venture capital is a form of finance used by firms or funds for small, early stage or emerging businesses on projects that are deemed to have high growth potential. They usually look at the deal and not the individual's repayment ability, and only sometimes your credit record. A venture capital firm usually lends money with interest-only repayments until the deal is concluded, if they can share in the upside, of course. Venture capital is more expensive than bank, but definitely worth the cost if there is enough profits in the deal. Another benefit of venture capital firms is that they also sometimes contribute other resources like legal, financial expertise, and sometimes even development professionals like architects, engineers, and so on, and that all decreases the risk. Okay, private finance. It's very similar to venture capital, except that here it's either a private individual or family, or so they can be found in many different ways. Private consortiums, cooperatives, and family offices. Private financiers will generally follow deals that can give them the best return on their money, which is normally the deciding factor. Normally, once these deals are concluded and a successful project and your investors have made good returns, they will continue to invest in your deals the next time, making the next time much easier. Angel investment is similar to the previous one, except that this is for individuals. And then there's family, which is probably the easiest, because family members hopefully will trust you, and you already have that bond. It's a great way for you to build a portfolio very quickly if the family members do trust you, and you can also help them grow their personal wealth. All right, rent to buy. This is an interesting one. A friend of mine, Maya Deval, has a company called I Rent to Buy. You see the website at the bottom there, irenttobuy.co.za. The 2 is the number. This method, basically what they do, the financier will lend money to you to buy a property. They fix the rate, and you pay them rent for a period of time, normally about 2 years. And then after the 2 years, they deduct the rental you've paid, and then you take proper ownership of the property, because at that stage you can then afford a bond. The reason why people will use this type of facility is because the banks normally wouldn't lend you the money because your credit is bad. So you enter into an agreement with the finance house to do a rental over a 2-year period, and then fix up your credit so that by the end of the 2 years you can take a normal bond. A really fun way is the rent to rent one. Normally people who use Airbnb, for example, will use this facility where you will rent a property or an apartment. A couple of friends use apartments, for example, in Sea Point, where they've taken a couple of apartments, they rent and pay a fixed amount to the owner, and then they rent it out on a daily basis, which brings them a higher return, and the difference they keep as profit. Other methods is when you in the commercial sector. Regis, for example, have used this for many years, where they rent a property, a big property, and subdivide it into offices and then sublet to businesses on a day-to-day basis. Alright, there are many other methods and combinations that you can use. Other methods are structured lending, mezzanine finance, commercial property finance, vanilla finance, development finance, public and private sector grants, tax rebates, and that's just 7 of many others that you can use. The best steps to take is to select 1 or maximum of 2 of these methods, master them, and then take the next method, so that over time you are using all the methods. And then whenever a new deal comes on board, you know exactly which method is the best one to use. However, you must start small and scale as quickly as you can, or as fast as your heart desires. But I would always caution, property is a long-term game, guys. So don't be in too much of a hurry. Take your time, build slowly, start small, and then as you ramp up, you can then start growing your portfolio a bit quicker. Carrie Wilkerson once famously said, the longer you're not taking action, the more money you're losing. So start taking action now. Start today, guys. All right, so that's it from me. The wrap up is done. Thank you very much again for your time. Continue to follow me on my 50 by 4 journey. We start on the 1st of February, and for those who still do not know, the 50 by 4 is me buying 50 properties over 50 days while I'm still 50 for under 50 million rand. So 50 by 4. So follow this journey, follow my candidates as they continue and also do the same, where they will each buy 1 property, at least 1 property, and you too hopefully will be able to do the same. So thank you guys for this time that we've spent with you and that you've listened to us. If you want more detail about any of the different methods, look back at the videos that we've recorded with Anton, and go and buy his book, so that you too can start your property journey. For now, goodbye, and thank you for listening to us again.